Take it and go.
I said jewelry.
Bruce Wayne witnessed his parents' death at the hands of a common thief at a young age. The memory haunted him throughout his life, sending him into jail and to the farthest reaches of the earth. When he finally returned home, he realized he needed to confront the memories he left behind. His father had pulled a terrified Bruce out of a well filled with bats in Bruce's childhood, telling Bruce that the bats swirling around him were harmless. The event was traumatizing for Bruce as a child, so adult Bruce returns to that well to confront his fear. When Bruce finally overcomes his fear of the bats, and realizes that they are harmless just as his father said, he not only overcomes his fear of the bats, but finally deals with his parents' death. Throughout history, people have dealt with tragic events that completely destroy their lives. Somehow, they continue onward with their lives when it would be far easier to just give up. So what drives these people? What keeps them going? And how do they move past the tragedies? In Cold Mountain by Charles Frazier, Inman wakes up in a hospital with an enormous neck wound that has nearly killed him. He has witnessed the death of thousands, and he is plagued by nightmares of the dead every night. He gets up, walks out of the hospital, and continues on. How does he do this? Inman reveals himself and his motivations in small bits throughout the book, thinking that getting home and building him a cabin on Cold Mountain so high, not a soul but the nighthawks passing across the clouds in autumn could hear his sad cry. Of living a life so quiet he would not need ears. And if Ada would go with him, there might be hope. Inman has latched on to the idea of returning home and the idea of his love interest Ada. This thought drives him as he deals with incredible obstacles. In The Lord of the Rings, Frodo selflessly travels across miles of countryside, narrowly avoiding death to destroy a ring for people that he has no real obligation to. He finally brings the ring to the place of its destruction, and ends up hanging off a ledge with the ring destroyed. Frodo knows it's fruitless to even pull himself up, knowing that he'll die anyways. Yet somehow a completely beaten down Frodo manages to find the strength to save himself, and moves on to be miraculously saved. Throughout his journey, he is sustained by the thought of the Shire and the people and things there. This allows him to find enough strength to pass seemingly insurmountable challenges.
It's gone. It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now. See the Shire. The Brandywine River. Peggy. Gandalf's fireworks. The lights. The party tree.
In Frank Herbert's Dune, Paul Atreides' entire family, excluding his mother, is killed in a flash raid from a rifle. His father is dead. He is numb, unable to deal emotionally with the impact of the event, thinking, I should mourn him, I should feel something. His mind races on, ignoring his emotions, and he gains a purpose. He realizes what he has to do to avenge his father's death, and when he comes to terms with what he must do, he finally begins to mourn. While people deal with things in seemingly completely different ways, there is a common thread to how people put things behind them and move forward. Like Frodo and Inman, people are driven by the thought of something, perhaps home or a love interest. This thought pushes them forward and helps them overcome their obstacles. People also seem to deal with tragedy in similar ways. Bruce Wayne found a connection to his parents through his fears, and specifically overcoming his fears that his father wished him to. This connection allows him to move past his parents' deaths and continue with his life. Similarly, Paul Atreides finds a connection with his father through vengeance. He will destroy the ones that killed his father, and this connection lets him deal with the tragedy.